4 central issues. Arguably, there are 4 central questions in consciousness science that are of historical importance, and they have been difficult to resolve. The first one is this. Question 1. Does the richness of subjective experience outstrip our attentional capacity? That is, does consciousness require attention? Do we consciously perceive things outside of our attentional focus? How are consciousness and attention related? And then, question 2. Can there be conscious experiences without any involvement of the prefrontal cortex? Because the prefrontal cortex is believed to be important for central functions related to attention, this is related to the last question. And then, question 3. Can sophisticated cognitive functions be triggered unconsciously? Now, you probably see the pattern. This one is related to the last question as well. If the prefrontal cortex only processes conscious information, then unconscious stimuli may not be able to trigger the functions associated with it. And of course, the prefrontal cortex is known to be important for many high-level cognitive functions, such as working memory, reasoning, etc. Then finally, question 4. Is it possible to have consciousness in unintelligent agents? This may be the deepest question of all. Are we the only conscious creatures in the universe? Who else is conscious? What about small animals? Insects? And you may see this is very much related to the last question as well, about what cognitive functions require consciousness. So, to sum up, the questions are: question 1, consciousness richer than attention? Question 2, consciousness without PFC? Question 3, unconscious higher cognition? Question 4, consciousness in creatures without intelligence? These questions are related, and they are all pretty important. It may make sense for any theory of consciousness to be able to readily answer all 4 of them. And here's the useful thing to see. Local theories say yes to all 4 of them. That is, for local theories, unattended stimuli can lead to subjective experiences. The prefrontal cortex is not needed. Because the PFC is not so tightly linked to consciousness, unconscious stimuli may well be able to influence its functions too. Consciousness may be a matter of having the right kind of biological signature in sensory circuits, rather than some higher cognitive functions. So even small, cognitively unsophisticated animals may be conscious. Global theories say no to all 4 of these questions. We consciously experience what we attend to. If a stimulus is completely filtered out by attention, it will be out of our conscious awareness. It also will not enter PFC processing. This means unconscious stimuli can only affect us so much. Consciousness is needed for the control of really high-level functions. As such, consciousness may be closely linked to rationality, reasoning, etc. It is not a simple matter of having the right kind of biological tissues or activity. Humans may be one of the few species reaching the level of cognitive sophistication required to enjoy consciousness. Think about this. In a way, this is how global theories and local theories are defined. They are the polar opposites on these issues. That's why we say these 4 questions are so central. In the next class, we will go through questions 1 and 2 together and see how the 2 camps fare in the debate. Then in Class C, we will address question 3. And finally in Class D, we will address question 4. But before that, maybe you can think about your own preliminary answers, too, based on what you have learned about the brain so far.